Right now, my garden honestly doesn't look very impressive yet. And a lot of this has just been planted directly from seed. So most of what you're seeing right now is basically dirt, mulch, and future plans. This is probably the most important stage of gardening because this is where all the decisions get made. And over the years, I realized I really don't garden by strict rules anymore. I garden based on what actually works for our life. Hey friends, welcome to the Squeaky Wheel Farm. So today I thought I'd walk you around the garden and talk through some of the decisions I'm making this year, some things I've learned over time, and why I've stopped trying to garden perfectly. Because real life gardening and internet gardening are not always the same thing. One thing I've learned over time is that I need my garden to work for me, not just look good on paper. So when I'm planning where things go, I'm thinking less about making everything perfectly organized and more about what's actually going to be manageable once the summer hits. Because once the heat kicks in, the weeds start growing, the vines start spreading, and life gets busy. And that's when you find out whether your garden setup really works. I think that's one reason why my garden has slowly gotten more practical over the years. Which brings me to the topic of companion planting. Just so you know, I still pay attention to companion planting. But honestly, I probably approach it differently now than I did when I first started gardening. I think online companion planting sometimes gets simplified down into charts and lists, but real gardens don't always work like that. So now I pay a lot more attention to what I've learned over the years of observation. What actually works in my garden. This is the spot that I've chosen for my new sunflower patch. Now one thing that I've noticed that kind of goes against a lot of garden advice is that my sunflowers don't really play nice with other plants. In my experience, things don't seem to grow well with my sunflowers nearby. In the past, I planted pole beans amongst the sunflowers thinking that the beans could climb the sunflowers, similar to the corn and the Three Sisters method, but most of the beans didn't come up, and the ones that did, they just didn't do well. I've also planted pumpkins amongst sunflowers, and while they did grow vines, the pumpkin harvest was pathetic. So this year my sunflowers are getting their own space, because every time I try planting things too close to them, the surrounding plants suffer. So at this point, I mostly just let the sunflowers have their own section. That's become a big part of how I garden now. I pay attention to patterns I have observed rather than strict garden rules. Vine crops are another example. Pumpkins, watermelon, squash. Technically, yes, you can companion plant around them. The Three Sisters method of planting corn and beans and pumpkins or squash together is a good example. But I've learned that once those vines really take off, getting through there to harvest anything becomes a nightmare. I've been trying to not step on vines, trying to not damage fruit, and still getting all scratched up. And eventually I realized it just wasn't worth making things harder on myself. I planted 4 different kinds of pumpkins in here yesterday. Now I'll set up some soaker hoses, mulch heavily. Maybe I'll even throw in some marigolds or other flowers. And I'll just leave them alone until harvest. And for me, that's made gardening a lot more enjoyable. Just letting the plants do their thing and not fighting nature. Now most of this garden is still no-till or low-till. The mulch I put down helps to keep the soil soft and loose. The landscaping fabric I put down lasts several years, and it suppresses the weeds really well. But I'm also not super strict about no-till anymore. If something makes sense for our situation, I'm willing to do it. This year our neighbor let us borrow a tractor and tiller, and it didn't cost a thing. And for crops like carrots and sweet potatoes, having loose soil really does help. So it made sense to till some areas. I think sometimes online gardening becomes very all or nothing. But real life gardening is usually somewhere in the middle. That flexibility has become a pretty big part of how I garden now. One thing I'm doing right now that has made life a lot easier is how I harden off my plants. As you can see, I keep half of my tomato plants in this wagon. And every day I just pull them out, the whole thing, out of the garage for a few hours. And then I put it back in. Now you're probably wondering, why only half of my tomatoes? Because right now our weather's still pretty cool, and I'm not willing to risk them all. And as for my peppers, I'm not quite ready to put warm weather crops into the ground yet. The peppers won't come outside until it stays warm overnight. I have stunted past pepper plants by putting them out when it's still too cool. They like the heat, so I'll start hardening them off after the tomatoes are planted and the nights stay warm. But this wagon has saved me so much time. Instead of carrying trays back and forth one at a time, the wagon makes it really simple. We used to have an extra pickup truck that we weren't using, so I'd put all my plants in the bed of that truck and I'd drive them in and out every day. It also made watering really easy because I didn't have to be careful. That's become one of my biggest gardening goals over the years, making things easier and more efficient where I can. Because if something's inconvenient, eventually I'm probably going to stop doing it. And I think that's why I've become such a big believer in using simple systems and working with what you already have. Now this next thing has probably saved me more money than almost anything else in the garden. And that's using what you have. Now my garden's far from perfect. There's a lot of jobs here that are half done. There's a lot of things that still need to be tackled. But I wanted to show you this. I've become a huge believer in being thrifty and practical. Now these cattle panels have probably been my favorite tomato support system because they're sturdy and reusable. I've reused these for several years and they work. There just isn't any reason to change them. They stay up year-round, so they're ready to plant every spring. But honestly, existing fences work great too. Now, I recently helped someone set up their garden, and they already had a fence in place, so I told them to use it. If you already have something sturdy, let your plants climb it. I think a lot of people feel like they need expensive setups before they can garden successfully. Now, many of these cattle panels have been recycled from our farm. Many of them have been bent by the cattle or just removed because we didn't need them any longer. But my point is, a lot of people feel like they need expensive setups before they can garden successfully. And a lot of gardening is really just learning how to work with space and materials you already have. And I wanted to show you this as well. This is a project that we've been working on, and it's going to be another structure very similar to the one that I have a little further down. Last winter I lost my arch trellises, cattle panel arch trellises that had been supporting my grapevines. We had an early snow and the leaves weren't quite gone off the plants yet. It was really wet and heavy and that whole structure just squatted down. So I didn't want to lose my plants. We've been working at this a little at a time, and I'm a little bit embarrassed to show you this because it's a work in progress. It's not anything beautiful or done, but a lot of gardening is that way. I'm not striving for a perfect garden anymore. I'm striving for a garden that's going to produce food and be easier for me and my family. So showing you this, I guess it's not really embarrassing because we work at it when we can, which is a little at a time. We are going to get it done. My grapes are supported again, and when we get the complete thing done and everything planted up, I will be sure to show you in a future video, so look forward to that. And even though things are still quite messy and haven't filled in yet, I also plan to plant a bunch of flowers throughout the garden again this year. I've realized over time that I really enjoy a more mixed, slightly chaotic garden style. I like having flowers tucked in amongst the vegetables. I like the pollinators and I like the color. I just think it takes the pressure off of trying to make everything look perfect. I think the older I get, the less interested I am in gardening perfectly, and the more interested I am in building a garden that actually fits our lifestyle. A garden that feeds us, a garden that doesn't completely exhaust me, and a garden that still works even when life gets busy. Our cows should be having calves soon, and our golden retriever, Tilly, will possibly be delivering a litter of puppies soon too. So things around here are about to get really busy and probably going to shift a little bit more towards everyday homestead life, at least for a while. If you enjoy gardening and real-life homestead content, I'd love to have you follow along. If you've enjoyed this video, please like with a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And don't forget to check back to see our videos on the new arrivals. Well, that's all I've got for you today. Thanks for watching. Oh, and one more thing. I hope to see you again soon.